YAHAWAH WA shalawam, peace be unto the nation of Israel, whom are mighty day so-called negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and speckled bird Israelites, whom are the Israelite foreigners, scattered across the four corners of the earth, including within America, Babylon the Great, and you are the Most High Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. So without further ado, as always, just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, barak, which is all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten and anointed Son, YAHAWASHI, and the Holy Spirit, who is our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. With that, meaning double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, the true shepherds of Israel, pushing the sound doctrine of faith, truth, and sincerity, and shalawam, honors and salutations to YAHAWAH, the house of David, 144,000 elect, the governing body of the house of David, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, and this is fellow servant Malak Rayab, back at it again. Another biblical lesson. All right, through the spirit of edification, exhortation, Adam is out in this video, along with the spirit of prophecy, been the testimony of our Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahawashi. All right, whom the master of the word English refers to Jesus Christ. All right, Shalom to Akim Akwa tuning in. All right, Adam This is for the edifying regards to this prophetic update. Just a quick prophetic update on these the series of global events that have been taking place, all right, that are leading this world up into this fourth industrial revolution, which entails the collapse of this monetary westernized civilization through the petrodollar, all right, within this fiat money, this fiat Federal Reserve System, okay, by way of this supply chain crisis, all right, further developing this fourth industrial revolution, all right, which is going to result into this last World War, and that's why Russia just recently, you have Russia on behalf of the parliament member Alexei Zuriev threatened to destroy both coasts of the U.S. with just 4 Sarmat missiles, all right, those are those ICBM missiles, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right, which the name is self-explanatory. And he went on to say, this was a response to the Biden administration approving $700 million worth of a military aid package to Ukraine or including longer range missiles. All right, after Russian forces had controlled most of the eastern city of Severodonetsk, which is that last Ukrainian holdout down there in the Luhansk region of Donbass. All right, so that proxy war is being further used, all right, to increase the price of living, including the price of these natural commodities and agricultural products, all right, which are including those victuals that have been so cheap for so long, including cans of beans, all right, milk, bags of rice, you see eggs, now that there's a high demand for these things by way of the supply and demand market further worsening, all right. The housing market is worsening, the labor market is being affected, okay. Where you have 400, we had the job openings fall from almost 500,000 back in April, okay. So, then you have diesel prices going up, like down in LA. It was reported that the gas price in a certain Chevron station down there in LA is up to $8 a barrel, and the diesel price is up to about $9, a little over $9, man. Okay, and it's only going to intensify in these last days. All right, so these are these ensigns that we are at the end of this devil Esau Edom's rulership, the wicked rulers of the darkness of this world and their constituents, man. All right, everyone a part of their Edomite confederacy. Okay, because there's a paradigm shift coming, man. All right, we're pursuing the Sirach 10 and 8. All right, but by way of these things unfolding these last days, including more shootings, all right, including a Tulsa, Oklahoma shooting that took place at a medical center down there in Oklahoma that resulted in 4 dead people. So it's not a coincidence that you had the Canadian president and prime minister Justin Trudeau announce on behalf of the Canadian Constitution that they're stopping the importation of gun sales through handguns, all right, to their citizens, and they're requiring their citizens to return their quote unquote military style weapons through a buyback program. So what would they have to do with Canada when there's a not nearly as much as a report or a severity of reports of gun violence down there, because they're part of the beast system. They're part of NATO. Okay, all right. The EU. Okay, the 10 toes. All right, prophesied in Daniel the 2nd chapter. You'll see. So these ministers of Satan, including these bankers, all right, these politicians, these celebrities, they're gonna be used by the wicked elite central bankers, the dukes of Edom, to further push this agenda in these last days, because the devil knows that he had but a short time, man. All right. So I'm going to start off in the book of let me see what I'm gonna start off at. All right, so I'm gonna start off in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 3. All right, Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 3, and it reads, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." Okay, so Esau, Edom was wiser than Daniel on the left-hand side. You see? All right, because his gift is a sword, which he was to use to obtain the fatness of the land, prophesied in Genesis 27 chapter. So his wisdom is sensual and devilish wisdom, the wisdom of this world, his science, his technology, and that's why he had a top advisor, Klaus Schwab, of the World Economic Forum, say that they no longer need God for immortality. They could just use rely on their artificial intelligence technology. You see, by the name of Yuval Noah Harari. You see, and that's why you have Elon Musk demanding people on behalf of his company, to adhere to this agenda by returning to office or be compromised, roughly paraphrasing. You see, so you have these different ministers of Satan being used within their lot to push this agenda out there, man. Okay, because this is what they were set up for. All right. All right. So Esau Edom's wisdom on the left hand side is his sensual and devilish wisdom, his light, his emboldened light on the left hand side. Okay. That's why they refer to as the luminaries. All right. All right. Ezekiel 28 and 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. You see. All right. By stealing it, man. All right. Including coming to the so-called New World and stealing the gold along with the rest of the natural resources, all right, and goods of abundance from the northern kingdom of Israel, man. Okay. All right, including the tribe of Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians, man. And that's why they call that land Puerto Rico, Puerto Riches. You see, as a part of as a further fulfillment of Micah the 2nd chapter and Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, man, because he's in a larger of his desires as hell, refusing to stay at home because he's not a keeper at home, being that he's a natural vagabond, man, just like his forefather Cain. You see, all right. So this is and that's why speaking of gold and silver, you had the CEO of J.P. Morgan Base, the most profitable banking system in the U.S., Jamie Dimon, reportedly stockpiling on cash, okay, by way of the fears of the effects of this inflation by the Fed, all right, demanding higher interest rates. You see, and he's also been behind the purchasing of large amounts of gold and silver behind these banking vaults, man, on behalf of J.P. Morgan Chase. You see, all right, because these insiders, including these bankers, these politicians, all right, these other government leaders and celebrities are insiders, man, like Khloe Kardashian with the whole underground bunker thing being further put out there. You see, and going back to Jamie Dimon, he also mentioned how they're anticipating 6 to 9 months of purchasing power, okay, within the U.S. dollar, because they know that the petrodollar is further, this fiat Federal Reserve note is further depreciating in value, man. All right, because it's being rivaled by way of the Chinese petro yuan and the Russian petro ruble. Okay, and a geoeconomic war centered around this whole Ukraine proxy war, all right, against Russia through Ukraine has further depreciated the petrodollar system by design, man. So the wicked elite can justify their fourth industrial revolution. You see, and that's why at the Davos 22 Council they had last week, they were pushing that theme out there to regulate the human experience, man. You see, all right, to merge their future innovative technology into people, man. Okay, by implementation of the Charagma. Okay, you presented do gradualism through this blockchain technology. And that's why you had certain pioneers like the Alibaba president, Michael Evans, and the Nokia CEO, Pekka Lundmark, I think his name is, okay, push for the fusion of this technology through 6G within people, man. You see? So they can control every aspect of people, regulating the human experience, man. Okay? Okay, and want of all things, like it says in Revelation, the 13th chapter, and that's what's leading into the MOTB, man. And it's June. You see, now it's June. You see? And there's irrefutable evidence that the Marcus is the Charagma, man. So, all right. So getting back to Ezekiel 28 and continuing in verse 5, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. All right. Read that again. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. You see, because he wants to control every aspect of everyone's lives, man. He, through geopolitics. All right. Through finances. You see. And that's why the price of life is further exponentially increasing, man. All right. Including the price of electricity, all right, expected to increase about 3.9%, which is about 0.4 of a dollar, man. Okay, per kilowatt. You see, you got, once again, like I was going into earlier, you got the house market further worsening by way of the further effect of the supply and demand crisis, man. Okay, including myself, they talk about raising the rent another additional $200, man. When previously it was increased a little under $150, man. Okay, because of some Elamite took over the some Elamite investor took over the complex, man. You see, so these insiders are being further used, all right, to further oppress the poor, like it goes into in Sirach the 4th chapter, man. All right, to put the final squeeze on this on the masses to justify collapsing this current system. Okay, all right. So back in Ezekiel 28 and 6, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because thou hast set thine heart as a heart of God. All right. Like it says in Isaiah the 14th chapter, he proclaims himself to be God to the earth. And this is what this is all about. Okay. This fourth industrial revolution is the last hurrah for Esau, Edom. This is it. Then he's going into captivity for 1,000 years before he's eradicated off of the face of the earth for destroying the earth. Like it says in Revelation, Revelation, the 11th chapter. Okay. I believe it is. Okay. Revelation 11th chapter around the 18th verse. All right. Ezekiel 28 and 7, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defy thy brightness. The brightness of America, Babylon the Great, is that wicked perceived sensual and devilish light. All right, their wisdom, knowledge, understanding of this world, which is foolishness to the Heavenly Father, man. Their science, their technology, their politics, geopolitics. You see their quantum physics. All right, their media and wicked propaganda tools they use to further push their narratives of this agenda to be justified. You see, it's all a part of his light that's going to be defiled by his own comrades, man, and those who were once confederate with him. Prophesied in Obadiah the 7th verse, when going into how the Soviets, okay, were once in alliance on behalf of the USSR with the West, okay, all right, back in World War II. Now they're enemies. Okay, but by way of the wine of Babylon, man. Okay, so now that's why you have you got that this guy, the Russian parliament member Alexei Zuraviv, threatening to destroy both coasts of the U.S. with just 4 Sarmat missiles, man, which is not far fetched because the distance the distance between the middle of Russia to the U.S. is about a little over 5,000 miles. All right, and these developed models of their missiles have the capability and magnitude to reach over here within that time frame, man. Including these hypersonic missiles, okay, including these Zircon missiles, man. Okay, they can travel faster than the speed of sound, man. Okay, going into Revelation 18th chapter, how it says that America, Babylon the Great, will be destroyed in 1 hour because of her wine, her Western philosophy, and her foreign policy are further compromising the livelihoods and the sovereignty of other nations, man, including the livelihoods of their own U.S. citizens. Okay, where you got people protesting against oppression. Okay, all right, gas prices increasing like down in L.A. over $8 a barrel, over $9 a barrel for diesel, and the higher the diesel prices go up, the more the likelihood, the more of the likelihood is that these truck drivers are going to continue to distribute these goods into these marketplaces, man. You see, because they're already going on strike. Eventually, they're going to be replaced. Just like the World Economic Forum leaders we're going into, they're replacing human beings with technology, man. So Esau, Edom is afraid to proclaim to the world they don't need people. You see, all right, and then they're talking about the what was it? I believe it was Jamie Dimon as well. The CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase has said that he's expecting gas prices per barrel to increase from anywhere from $150 to $175 per barrel, man. And that'll be devastating in places, especially in places where there's a higher demand for gas because the price of living is so high. Down there in LA, Cali, down there in New York, okay, down there in Chi-Town, man. You see, he's talking about gas prices being projected to be about $10 per barrel this summer, and we're in the midst of an anticipated blackout, a global blackout, okay, mainly a national blackout, and down here in Babylon this summer, man. So it's not a coincidence. All of these things being reported simultaneously because this prophecy being first fulfilled here. Isaiah 24:10. We grab that real quick. All right, Isaiah chapter 24, verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. All right. All right. So the city of confusion, Babylon the Great, okay, the great land of confusion, America is being torn down, man. It's being casted down. Okay, it's being darkened by way of the brightness of the rulers of the darkness of this world being darkened. Okay, that is their strength, their source of their strength within secrecy of wickedness, pursuant to Isaiah 29:15, being darkened, man, and then being further exposed globally. You see, and that's why these other nations are seeing the weakness of these devils, man. You see, all right, and that's why these other nations, all right, are afraid of furbishing their sword within their military drills and war games and whatnot, like North Korea recently, because they're seeing the weakness of this devil. Pursuant to Joel the 3rd chapter, let the weak say I'm strong. Okay, all right, so I'm going to continue. All right, I'm going to grab Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4, and it reads, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And that golden city, gold is symbolic of prosperity and riches, is America, Babylon the Great, the land of opportunity. You see, which is also known as the city of merchandising in Revelation 18 chapter, where these other nations, all right, yearn to come over here, all right, to be intoxicated spiritually off the wine of Babylon, to share the prosperity with Esau, Edom, because that's what he has advertised, man. You see, but that's part of the snares in Psalm 64:5 and other similar precepts that's going to have these people within a rude awakening, man. All right, we're going to include these other nations, man. All right, because these nations, some of these nations that remain over here, all right, some of the individuals of these nations that remain over here are going to get drafted, man. You see, it's all a part of the snares of Babylon the Great, man. Okay, all hook, line, and sinker tactics within these war tactics, man, to get people engulfed and conditioned mentally to accept the satanic NWO, okay? All right, in the making, all right? So this is Isaiah 14:5. It says, the Lord Yahawah had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, all right? So he's broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, man, by compromising his rulership, okay? All right? And this is how he's done that. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 9. It reads, the light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. All right, read that again. The light of the righteous rejoices, and the light of the righteous is that true essential, that true divine wisdom, knowledge, understanding from above, man. Pursuing of 1 Samuel 2:3 of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, man. That light that has quickened us, man. That's made us alive, and that's the difference between being alive and being and simply existing. Because the mass of the world, okay, that are considered lives of vanity, are just existing, man. There's no living because they have not partook in the indulgence of the fountain of living waters, man. So they're dead. They're dead while they live, like it says in 1 Timothy, including these women, okay, deprived of wisdom, you see, because they don't seek wisdom, all right, from above, all right, the true divine wisdom, man, okay, but rather the perceived wisdom by way of what has been presented to them by the rulers of the darkness of this world. And that's why in Proverbs it says they shall seek the ruler's favor, okay. So Proverbs 13:9, the light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Okay? And the lamp of the wicked is being put out, man. Okay, within these last days. By way of this devil being exposed. All right. All right. So because what he's doing is no longer a secret. Okay. People are starting to catch on to why the gas price is going up. People starting to catch up to why the price of life is exponentially increasing. Okay. Gas prices, food prices. All right. The price of living. You see, the more, on behalf of the housing market further collapsing, including mortgage rates going up, interest rates going up, man. All right. All right. By way of the depreciating Federal Reserve note system. All right. This is St. Luke chapter 10, verse 18, and it reads, "And he said unto them, I beheld Shatan as lightning fall from heaven." Okay, and Shatan in the Hebrew, okay, means adversary. And who is adversary to righteousness? The rulers of the darkness of this world, all right, the vessels of dishonor. Okay, that proud nation spoken about in Proverbs 15:25. Okay, and that's the house of Edom. You see, who do not fear Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashai, because the thought of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashai is not at all within their thoughts, like it says in Psalm 10 chapter. You see, and that's why the advisor of Klaus Schwab said on behalf of Yuval Noah Harari said, we don't need Christ, for immortality, to live forever. You see, so this is why these things happen in the world, by way of this fourth industrial revolution being further developed, man, so they can normalize it. Okay, so this is St. John chapter 10. This is St. John chapter 10, verse 10. All right. And it reads, "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy." And read that again. "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to murder and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." You see? So life is not offered here. Okay, like it says in Micah 2:10. Okay. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." You see, because the outcome of this satanic NWO of this Edomite hegemony, okay, does not offer life. It's quite the opposite. These devils are looking to seize the resources from the masses. Okay, all right, preceding Proverbs, the 22nd chapter, which I'm going to get real quick. Okay, so they could further flourish in riches, man. Like it says in Ezekiel 28:5, and that's wicked, man. You're not supposed. That goes into defrauding, okay, and that's wicked. Then and a part of that defrauding, includes usury, okay, putting taxes, all right, on the money we borrow, okay, on our expenses. You see, so this is Proverbs 22:7. "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." So it's evil as hell, to increase somebody's price of living, including their rent and mortgage when they can barely make ends meet, and these devils know that. You see, my case in point, the president of the Black Farmers Association was complaining about how the West can supply Ukraine with millions upon billions of dollars of military aid, but they're not aiding the farmers. Okay, and that's why you had the Texas farmer Lynn Bugsy Ellen mention how food prices are expected to double in October. He said, you haven't seen anything yet. He said, if you think it's bad now, just wait until the fall, when the temperature is exponentially lower. Okay, and by way of the price of life increasing, okay, there's going to be a lack of sanitation because people are not going to have the means of acquiring the resources they need, all right, to keep up their hygiene, to keep up their health, more importantly. So that means what? More disease going to be out there, man. It's all calculated, man. You see? So there's a big snowball effect of death and destruction coming upon the masses, man. All right, because people are asleep. Okay, so like it says in 1 Thessalonians, man. Let me grab that real quick. All right, 1 Thessalonians 5. I believe it's the 5th verse, or the 5th chapter rather. Slakia. All right, let me grab that real quick. All right, let me see. Slakia. Khan. So this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, because we're the children of light. We are the true Illuminati. All right, the saints of Israel, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. So that doesn't apply to the world, only apply to the world of Israel. All right. So I'm going to grab Proverbs chapter 14, verse 11. All right, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 11. And it reads, "The house of the," matter of fact, Salakia. Let me see where I'm going to start. Shalakia. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 11. All right, and it reads, the house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. All right, and the tabernacle of the upright is the house of David. Okay, the 144,000. All right. The leaders of the so-called, the true new world, okay, which is New Jerusalem in Revelation 21st chapter. Okay. All right, so this is verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You see, so these devils have been given over to their own derision, pursuant to Psalm, the 2nd chapter, that this, by way of this NWO being further developed, is something that is right in their eyes. They think they're doing something right. They think that they're by them regulating the so-called human experience, or within the theme of the Davos 22 Council, all right, through finances, all right, through these immoral decrees, going into Psalm 94 and 20, by instituting these gun laws like down there in Canada on behalf of the Canadian Constitution, all right, passing those legislations for gun law restrictions. They think they're doing something right, okay, by controlling everyone, all right, so they could proclaim to be God on earth. But see, that's part of the derision that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM gave them, so YAHAWAH BAHASHAM could be further justified in destroying these devils, man, because they're destroying the earth, all right. Revelation 14, jumping down to verse 31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor. You see, it says, verse 32, the wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Okay, so it's a righteous thing, all right, to pray for the downfall of our enemies. Okay, so I'm going to get that real quick in the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach chapter 4 from the top, and it reads, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. You see that? So by way of them and these devils, concocting this, this national or this global supply chain crisis, further centered around the whole proxy war in Ukraine, okay? By way of the wicked intentions and purpose of doing so is wicked, man, okay? All right, to cause those who are already struggling, okay, to beg on their knees. That's wicked. Go into that Lazarus, I believe it's that Lazarus parable, all right, the parable where, it's in the book, in the New Testament somewhere, where there was a beggar, begging for the crumbs from the king, and the king won't give it to him. That's these devils, man. That further relates to these devils, man, these wicked elite central bankers, man, okay? All right? They have all the hearts could desire, like it says in Sirach, the 12th chapter, another precepts, but they want more because they're not satisfied, even with blood, okay? Because this is a bloody man. And that's why Psalm 55 and 23 says, bloody, deceitful men shall not live out half their days, man. You see? So these Edomites, including these other Edomite nations such as the Russians, all right, are following the same suit, man, because they're not innocent either. You see? Like down there, Russia is also withholding gas supplies to the Netherlands, Germany, and Denmark, and they're doing that from their own people. You see? So like, what does it say in the scripture? I might be in the Apocrypha. It says and it is in the Apocrypha, where it says, he that is evil to himself, how can he be good to others? You see? That's why this devil needs to remove from power, because he's destroying the earth. Okay? So this is Sirach 4 and 2. It says, make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. You see, and they're provoking, poor men in distress, by increasing the price of living, knowing good and goddamn well that the masses of people, all right, are on the bottom of the totem pole, especially Jake, and so they're as it says here, they're further provoking the man in distress, all right, by increasing the price of living. That's why you got people out there protesting, you got people rioting, okay, attacking cops, like down there in Kansas City. Oh, Salaki, what was it? I believe it was Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. All right, where you had reportedly there was a pregnant Eve who attempted burglary with some other Jake, and the cops ended up shooting her 5 times, man. And unfortunately for her, she's still alive. I don't know about the condition of her child if she was pregnant, but I believe it was down there in Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and she got shot up. So these things are happening these last days, man. Then you had the Tulsa shooting down in the medical center. Another shooting, man. Another major shooting, man. Okay, So it's all a part of their agenda to control, to regulate the human experience, including gun law controls, man. All right, through gradualism. Okay, and that's gonna further result in an outcry, further outcries and uproars of the people going into second Ezra, the 15th chapter, man. All right, where people will take matters into their own hands. All right, and despise their governments. All right, this is Sirach chapter 4, verse 3. Add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed, and deter not to give to him that is in need. You see. So by them supplying Ukraine with millions upon billions of dollars of military aid, but yet there's no damn baby formula, all right, to feed newborn infants or whatnot, that people start to take notice to this shit, man. Okay, and that's gonna further lead people to look at Esau, Edom a certain way. Okay, all right, and they're gonna take to the streets, and it's gonna be a bloodbath out here, man. You see, so by way of them looking to push the gun law restrictions. They're looking to limit the resistance of the satanic NWO because they know there's going to be blowback on it. This is all planned, this was all planned, years in the making, man. Okay, all right. Just like you had Nick Rockefeller tell the movie director of Trading Places, what's his name, Aaron Russo, that they're planning on sticking the Marcus in everyone, man. Okay, so there's more irrefutable evidence that the Marcus is a Charagma, man. That Rice Krispie treat, okay? So this is Sirach chapter 4, verse 4. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eyes from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee, you see? For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him, you see? So that further confirms we can curse our enemies, man, when they're doing us wrong, when they're approaching us, okay, oppressing and afflicting us even to the point of death, okay? We can curse these devils, and we've been cursing these devils, man, in the Hebrew, okay? Because the force of the tongue in the Hebrew is more powerful, which is the original language. The Lashwan Kodash of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, okay? All right, so I'm going and move forward here, bring out a few more precepts, all right? Because people are going to come to the understanding that, this world is not all that it was panned out to be, man. This whole theme of America, liberty, and justice for all was all a farce, man. Okay, all right, just to have people buy into this so-called liberty, okay, all right, which is really the ideology of Esau, Edom, okay, all right, the liberty to be wicked, okay, which means freedom, the freedom to be a brute beast, a demon. All right, this is Psalm chapter 94, verse 1. O Yahawah, Most High, to whom vengeance belongeth, O Most High, to whom vengeance belongeth, shew thyself, lift up thyself, thy judge of the earth, render reward to the proud. Yahawah, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? Okay, they break in pieces thy people, O Yahawah, and afflict thine heritage. You see, because they're really targeting Jake with his agenda, man. Because like it says in Hosea, the 1st chapter, we make up the sand of the sea, because we were commanded to be fruitful, multiply. That's why Jake like to get it in to have children. That, they like to bring forth, multiply their offspring, you see, and that's what we're known for. And these devils know that, because each nation is like each tribe rather is like a nation itself. All right. So this is Psalm chapter 94, verse 6. They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. You see, that's part of the curses. How our fathers will be removed from the households for the most part, man. Okay. You see, that's why within the requirement of government aid, all right, on behalf of Jake women, okay, Eve, you have to prove that you don't have a man, okay, within times past. Okay, you have to prove that you don't have a man in order to be provided a government aid. Okay, including Section 8 housing, especially Section 8 housing. Okay, and the other government funding programs, including SNAP benefits and so forth. All right, so we are the fatherless. Okay, there's no other demographic of people to fit this curse. All right, verse 7. All right, Salakia. This is verse 7. Yet they say, Yahawah shall not see, neither shall the power of Jacob regard it. You see, and that's Esau, Edom. All right, Jeremiah 15:8. Okay. It says, oh, we offend not. Let me grab that real quick. Jeremiah 50 and And verse 7, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. You see? So that's Esau Edom's way of justifying afflicting, and destroying the heritage of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. He's going to be held accountable for that. Okay? All right, so jumping down to verse 10, it says, he that chastiseth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth man knowledge, shall not he know? You see? So the Lord created these devils, so he's going to judge them in due time. It says, the Lord Yahweh knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is a man whom thou chastenest, O Yahweh, and teachest him out of the law, out of thy law, Salakia. All right, so quick precept in the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16. 2 Ezra, chapter 16, start at verse 17. All right, and the point is in verse 19. All right, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, which is the wicked elite. All right, and these other leaders, government leaders and whatnot. It says, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, and the answer is in, I believe, is in 1 Timothy 2:8, to lift up thy supplication to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI and pray, and to pray without ceasing, man. Okay, pursuant to 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, man. To cast all of our burdens upon the shoulders of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, for he cared for us, man. Pursuant to 1 Peter 5:7. This is 2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay, an amendment means minor change or addition. All right, correction. All right. Reproof, all right, and scourge means severe affliction, okay, through chastisement, okay, and so the Lord is using these plagues of his righteous indignation, okay, as chastisement to the righteous, okay, all right, to further fear him, okay, in want of all things, okay, as opposed to the sons of men, the sons of the wicked, man, all right, doing the bidding of Satan, like it says in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, man. Okay, we're pushing the narratives of their agenda, all right, to regulate the human experience, all right, by way of the theme of the Davos 22 Council. This is 2 Ezra 16, and 20. Once again, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, or verse 20, Salakia. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. And that's 2/3. So, like it says in Proverbs 22:3, the simple shall pass on and be punished. Okay, while the prudent will take heed. Okay. So back in Psalm chapter 94, all right, actually, Psalm chapter 94, verse 14, for the Lord Yahweh will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. Okay, so he's going to protect the elect. All right, verse 15, but judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Okay, and heart in the Hebrew is lav. So like it says in Romans, 1 Corinthians 12:2. How we're supposed to unconform for this world, okay? By renewing, having our minds renewed, okay? All right, by way of the meditation of the righteous instruction of these scriptures, including prophecy, man. All right, within these last days, all right, to learn the ways of pleasing YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, okay, to be deemed worthy enough to be protected in these last days, okay? When the masses are going to suffer by way of these plagues in these last days, man. You're going to have elderly starving to death. The youth, including children, is starving to death by way of a shortage of supplies, man. Okay, you see, and it's all a part of the aspect of their agenda, including the Georgia Guidestones aspect, to limit the population from about 8 billion people down to 500 million. And this is a part of the way in which you're doing that, starving people out. Like back in 73 AD, around the time of Masada, when our last fortress of defense fell, these devils were preventing food and resources from coming to Jerusalem, and they did use the same war tactic, a similar war tactic with the Gadites, by killing off the buffalo supply so they can starve out Gad. You see, they're doing it again, and this is our prophesy, man. Deuteronomy 28 chapter is a part of the curses of Israel. All right, this is Psalm chapter 94, verse 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? All right, unless Yahweh had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Yahweh, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. See, You know, so this is the times which we're living in, man. All right, all hell's breaking loose in this society. Okay, all right. You know, you have the matter of fact, grab this real quick. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. Okay, all right. You know, because you got people, you have the layoff rate increasing. Okay, like it was reported earlier, about 500,000 jobs. You know, there about, was it 455,000, damn near 500,000 jobs, okay, have been lost in April, all right, due to the labor market further worsening, okay. And this is, let's go into this prophecy here, Isaiah 19 and 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do, okay. All right, so there's not gonna be, any work out here, man, okay. All right, because of this economy collapsing. All right, man, them looking to replace human beings with technology. You see? So all right, so I'm gonna go back to let me see here. Psalm chapter 94, verse 20. Psalm chapter 94, verse 20, and it reads, shall the throne, Slakia, I'm actually go up a verse in verse 19. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? You see, like they claim to come to your aid through their moral decrees and policies, and when in fact they are immoral. Like Justin Trudeau's gun legislations on behalf of the Constitution of Canada, perpetrating a fraud like the Canadian government is trying to help their citizens, when in all actuality, they're actually further pushing the vibration of the wine of the West, okay, to regulate the human experience, as discussed within the Davos 22 Council last week, okay, all right, what's his name, Mauer Amschel Bowser, okay, was changed the name to Rothschild, where he said, give me control of a man's money, and I care not who prescribes his laws. So these devils are ruling everything, man. Okay, the true rulers of the darkness of this world is those who we can't see on an everyday basis, but we know we know who they are, because everything that's been done in light was to be brought to in the dark, rather, was to be brought to the light, like it says in St. Luke 12 and 2. Okay, this is Psalm 94 and 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood, and that's the elect. All right, the apple of the Most High's eye, pursuant to Zechariah 2 and 8. All right, or Zephaniah 2 and 8. All right, Psalm 94 and 22. But the Lord Yahweh is my defense, and my power is a rock of my refuge. Not Esau, Edom. Okay, not these presidents, not these politicians. Okay, not these bankers, not these celebrities, but YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Like a lot of Jake are gonna a lot of simple Jake. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna praise LeBron because LeBron was seen rocking fringes in a recent photo. And we delight in that, but we're not gonna be simple and praise this man because we know he's an insider, man. You see, now it's still a beautiful thing to see that, because that further confirms that this word is getting out there, because this truth has sprung forth out of the earth, pursuant to Psalm 85th chapter. So that further confirms these strongholds, stumbling blocks being torn down, and the land where we would be put to shame and forget who we are. Okay, we would have come back into remembrance of who we are. Okay, pursuant to Romans 9 and 26. This is Psalm 94 and 23. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Yahawah our power shall cut them off. See, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is cutting these devils off, man, in these last days, by exposing them. Okay? All right? This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6. All right? And it reads, he who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke, he that ruleth the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. He's been persecuting the entire world. Okay, and now it's time for him to be persecuted. All right, so this is Job chapter 20, verse 18. It reads, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away an house which he builded not, including within the Spanish Inquisition. See, still in the land for the northern tribes. All right, and down here in America. All right, this is verse 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly; he shall not save with that which he desired. So all the gold and silver they have, these devils have within their underground vaults, banking vaults, like down in the Bank of England, down there, within these banks on behalf of J.P. Morgan, Chase, and whatnot. You see, where they're purchasing, large quantities of gold and silver, okay, and increasing their stockpiling of cash because they know this collapse is coming, but they're not telling the world. You see. Because Esau, Edom is a covetous bastard, man. Okay? This is Job chapter 20, verse 21. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. That's Ezekiel 28. Okay? They're going to surround this devil with missiles, man. All right? When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain upon him while he is eating. He shall, just when they think that they achieved their satanic NWO, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to disappoint this devil and cast him down, pursuant to Psalm 17 and 13. Okay, within his last world's war, the war of the worlds, and Revelation, the 12th chapter. You see? And that's why under the Trump administration, they integrated the sixth member of the military, the U.S. military, which is the Space Force, because they plan to go to war with the Yahawashi angels to keep their rulership. All right? Verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. All right? I mean, really, in that modern-day iron weapon, all right, is these modern-day flying swords. Our pursuit of Isaiah the 34th chapter is going to destroy this place and leave that, that mushroom cloud prophesied there in that chapter. Okay? But what is the impact of these thermonuclear missile warheads? Verse 25, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. And that's what's happening with the world right now. Okay? And eventually these nations are going to band together and shoot nukes upon this place, pursuant to Jeremiah 15:14 and other precepts. Job 20:28, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is a portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and a heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. You see, so this is the end of Esau, Edom, man. Malachi 1 and 4. Okay? All right? This is the end game, Malachi 1 and 4. All right? Malachi chapter 1, verse 4 reads, whereas Edom said, verse 3, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and a people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So Jim Crow Joe's Build Back Better of that 666 theme of their agenda is going to fail, and they're going to be and their empire is going to be decimated, man. So meanwhile, you got about 100 Ukrainian troops dying per day on average, as has been reported down in Ukraine. Confirms that Esau Edom is being demoralized by the plagues of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and that's ultimately going to take place when YAHAWAH returns with angels, man, to deliver us from this devil, this strange nation, this bloody nation. Okay, and it's times which we're living in. All right, so I'm going to end it off there. Give all praise, glory, infinite honor to my power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Forgive me the spirit of this video, which I pray was for the edifying, exhorting, you know what I'm saying, to the hopeful elect that tuned in and may tune in. All right. And with that, Kwam Yash Allah, shalawam to the elect, and on to the next one.